Welcome to the next installment in my video lecture series in economics. And in this particular video lecture, we're going to be taking a look at some concepts in microeconomic theory that relate to urban economics. And in particular, as I've stated in other videos, we do this review in the first week of the online course just to make sure that students have an appropriate understanding of microeconomic theory that relates to the concepts that we're going to be discussing in the Urban Economics online course. And in this particular video lecture, we're going to take a look at changes in supply and demand, and in particular, we want to see how changes in supply and demand impact the equilibrium price and the equilibrium quantity. So here we have a market that's in equilibrium. We have our demand curve D0, we have our supply curve S0, supply is in red and demand is in blue, and you can see the equilibrium occurs where the supply and demand curves are equal to one another graphically, where they intersect one another, and that gives us our initial equilibrium price and our equilibrium quantity. So if we have an increase in income for a normal good, what we see is that there's going to be an increase in demand, because by definition, a normal good is something that if income increases, the demand increases for that particular product. So because of this increase in income for a normal good, we see that we should predict that the price will increase, the equilibrium price will increase, and the equilibrium quantity will increase. If we have an opposite scenario where we have a decrease in income for a normal good, this will cause the demand curve to shift to the left. We will have a new equilibrium point, and as you see here, that both the equilibrium price and the equilibrium quantity are decreasing. If we have an increase in the price of a substitute good you could think of as a replacement. So if a price of the substitute good goes up, individuals will shift away from buying that good and buying this particular good. So if we have an increase in the price of a substitute good for this particular good that we're graphically analyzing here, we will see that there's an increase in demand, and that this will cause both equilibrium price and equilibrium quantity to increase. If there's a decrease in the price of a substitute good, we will see the demand curve shift to the left. Reason being, if the price of that substitute good goes down, people will shift away from buying this particular product and buying the other product, and this causes both the equilibrium price and the equilibrium quantity to decrease. Now we have to take a look at the scenario of complementary goods. A complementary good or complementary goods are goods that are used together. The example I oftentimes give is with gaming systems in games. All right, so for example, if you buy an Xbox system, whichever that Xbox system or the most up-to-date Xbox system is, a complementary good to that Xbox system will be Xbox games. So if there's a decrease, let's say, in the price of Xbox consoles, this will cause the demand for Xbox games to increase, and this will drive the price up of Xbox games and also cause the equilibrium quantity of Xbox games to increase. If there's an increase in the price of that complementary good, we'll keep the same example of an Xbox console, as the Xbox system increases in price, the demand for Xbox games will decrease, and this will cause the equilibrium quantity and the equilibrium price to decrease. Also realize that the market or the population of that market impacts demand. All right, so if there's more and more people in a particular market, the demand curve will shift to the right. Remember that the demand curve or market demand curve is the summation of all the individual demand curves in that market. If there are more individuals in that market, the demand curve will shift to the right. This will cause the equilibrium price and the equilibrium quantity to increase. On the other hand, if we see a decrease in the population, this will cause the demand curve to shift to the left. The equilibrium price and quantity for this particular product will fall. Now, if we look at the supply side, if you're in business, your input prices. So you might face a scenario where the prices of your inputs, wages, materials, etc., capital that you use in production go up. So if there's an increase in the cost or the price of inputs, the supply curve will shift to the left. This will cause the equilibrium price to increase and the equilibrium quantity to decrease. If input prices fall, this will cause the supply curve to shift to the right. This will cause the equilibrium price to fall and the equilibrium quantity to increase. And also, if there's changes in technology, in particular, if the technology allows you to produce more at the same cost. So this improved technology is increasing productivity. If we see improvements in technology, the supply curve will shift to the right. This will lower equilibrium price and increase equilibrium quantity.